You right? Sorry, I was sitting there. I didn't even notice I was a little late. I was reading the live chat. I do apologise. That's why I'm smiling, even though it's a pretty disgusting topic that we're again going to look at. What I will do is have a chat with you all on the other side, as it were, at the end, and then potentially, depending on our how I feel after doing this content, maybe I'll take it off of the final video. So you'll all find out if that happens when you rewatch this video and you see whether I start talking at the end. It's not good. So I've been feeling a little I don't know about ashamed, but a bit guilty lately that I haven't spent as much of my time as I should or ought to, or that I promised I would, on Christian persecution. Although I still keep very much up to date on it, I've had a lot on, and it's ongoing, but it will be, some of it will be finished forever on Friday. So if you're watching this back, ignore everything that I'm saying. The point is that Raymond Ibrahim is like a staunch, not promoter, that's the wrong word, but an advocate for the reality of Christian persecution. And with his permission, which is ongoing, which I obtained some time ago, I'm going to give you some of the information that he gathers together, and he does it far more succinctly, I reckon, or comprehensively than I could. Hello, everybody in the chat. Right. Well, I don't want to, but I'm going to, because I made a promise that I would. Okay. Just praying for the patience and the love for these people. I say people. The people who do this, there's a special kind of something waiting for them, hopefully salvation. Right, let's get into it. So, hate crimes against Christianity, and it's and the followers of Christianity, I guess, within Europe. So, formerly and for many hundreds of years, Europe has been the guardian, I guess, like a disseminator. Christianity is the broadcaster of Christ's teachings, and hate crimes against Christians are at an all-time high. And if you think that's just like a throwaway phrase, one could, consider the nigh on 2,000 years that it's been going on. It was extremely high in the first 3 centuries of Christendom, like the first 3 centuries of the last millennia. And it abated somewhat when Rome became Christianized, but it has never stopped. There has never been a day, not one day, where it has not been prevalent. So according to a recent report, at least a quarter of all hate crimes in Europe last year, which as 2020, pandemic o'clock, as it were, and yet still at least a quarter, so 25% plus of all hate crimes which were registered, many don't go reported, were anti-Christian in nature. And this represents a 70% increase in comparison to just 12 months before that, just 2019. Like, can we pause a minute there? Like 70% increase. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, sometimes for me, the numbers are so big or the ratios are so great that it ceases to have any meaning. Like, I find that for me personally, when like Vera, the 22-year-old microbiology student in Africa, Nigeria, I believe, she was battered to death in a church. She had gone there to study in quite, peaceful surroundings. She was a Christian, and some men, I say men, obviously, some males of the species, not only beat her senseless, raped her and hit her over the head with a fire extinguisher, like leaving her for dead, but she woke up and was able to give the police a description of what had happened before she passed away in the hospital. And that has stayed with me, just as the picture of the little girl with the machete hanging out of her head. That has always stayed with me. I've got still images of like multiple women at once with deep machete wounds to their, like, you know, this section and the tops of their arms and their faces, mass graves of, you know, charred bodies, some burnt, some seemingly intact, leading me to believe at least that they were alive when they were interred with the charred remains of their like fellows. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes when I say 340 million Christians worldwide live in high to extreme levels of persecution, like it's just numbers, you know what I mean? Like, can you even visualize a million people? And I'm not talking a million, I'm talking 340 million. I'm talking about 50 countries that are designated as the top countries in the world for Christian persecution. And now we've got the most ridiculous state of affairs where none of those top 50 are mid-range persecution. None of them. They're all extremely high or high, which clearly means that number 51 and on through the list, you know, all of the mid-range and the low range, right down to the, you know, the stuff. It's not good, people, is what I'm trying to get across to you. 70% increase. Okay, and yeah, and that brings it up to a quarter or just over a quarter of all hate crimes registered in Europe. And get on this. I'm sorry, I'm getting irritated already. Imagine this. In Europe, it could be a hate crime to just say, you know, him. Like the him that used to be a him, like a day before when he had testicles, like, oh, he's still got testicles, but now his name's Susan. That could be a hate crime. And even with all that additional twaddle clogging up the criminal justice and the civil justice courts, still we represent 1 in 4 of every registered hate crime. And it is the religion most targeted within hate crimes. Christianity has that accolade. Don't believe it for one hot second that Islam is like vilified beyond belief. Like, vilified is a very subjective term, but let's not even go there. Let's not imagine for a second that Christianity, even though we have far greater numbers, so one would like presume just mathematically that we would have higher numbers of you know, hate against us, and yet still we are the most targeted religion for hate crimes. It's such a like bogus phrase, but we know what we mean. Judaism, unsurprisingly, is a close second. Imagine that, a close second. Like, they have far fewer numbers, which represents, I imagine, like higher percentages within their demographic. It's like shiz. Okay, chill out, Kay. We haven't even got through the first paragraph. Oh, geez, Louise. Okay. The true number of hate crimes against Christians is likely to be even higher. As this report, as you know, it's the November 16th report by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which is OSCE, and I will, Armor of God is going to remind me later to link it in the description. And this is what the report explains. 24 states report data on hate crimes committed due to racism or xenophobia, 20 on LGBT groups, 16 states on anti-Semitism, and 14 on incidents against Muslims. But only 11 countries report data on hate crimes against Christians. And this, like if I have to teach my grandmother to suck eggs soon, this obviously distorts any viable statistics, not viable, any statistics that we may have. The fact that only 11 states of at least a possible 24 that I see here, if only 11 are reporting, what's going on in the other, you know, in the others? Furthermore, of the 136 civil society organizations that provided descriptive data, only 8 organizations of 136 civil society organizations that provided descriptive data, only 8 organizations consistently reported incidents against Christians. Like, don't hear that in the way that I'm not saying it. I'm saying there are incidents, only 8 of these 136 are reporting them. So both of these findings put the reality of the situation, like if it needs to be hammered home anymore, get me a hammer, someone. Like, it just puts it in a different perspective for me, certainly, and I can feel myself boiling. The actual number is just way higher. Out of 136, we've got 8 reporting. Of however many it is, only 11 countries are reporting data that is like, oh gosh. Okay, let's just get rid of this now. When comparing the number of incidents from last year to the number of this year, we can see an increase of almost 70%, of almost 70 in every 100. What is also like striking, let's go with striking, is the fact that of the 4,008 descriptive cases, as like from last year, 980 are hate crimes against Christians, and that is almost 25% more, not just 25% of, that's almost 25% more than any other religious group. Indeed. Right, let's have a go. Whereas 980 hate crimes were anti-Christian, 850 were anti-Semitic. There is such a teensy number of Jews in the world compared to us 2 point whatever it is billion Christians. It's unreal. But we have the same God, and obviously, you know, he's not really popular in the satanic realms. And only 254 were anti-Islamic. Not denigrating the importance of that one bit, but what I am going to point out is 254 is only ever so slightly less than 25% of our numbers, as it were. But the report goes on to say the true numbers are just way higher. For whereas the majority of racial and anti-Islamic or anti-homosexual or LGBTQP3 free spirit, whatever it is, goldfish thing, they are reported consistently, and a vast number of anti-Christian attacks are not reported, or if they are reported, they're not reported with Christianity being cited as the identifier, like the objective reason for the hate. And even despite this, sorry, Alma, can you keep up with just okay in comments, please? Even disregarding this discrepancy, I guess, attacks on Christians are still higher of our really poor reporting rates than any other religious group anyway. And when discussing these findings, Madeline Enzelberger, who is head of intolerance and discrimination against Christians, that sounds mental. Sorry. Imagine having that on your job, on your little business card there. Makes it sound like you're the one to... Wow. Okay. It's not okay. Head of intolerance and discrimination against Christians in Europe says the media and politicians do not see the rise in hatred of Christians in Europe as a growing social problem. The OSCE report shows only part of this problem, yet sends a very clear signal against indifference and the almost fashionable bashing, as it were, of Christians. After offering the OSCE's formal definition of hate crimes as an offence against a particular group or a prejudice against a particular group that serves as a motive to commit certain crimes against this group, a Danish journalist called Sonja Dalmans elaborates this way and says this can be the destruction of Christian buildings such as churches or schools. Check out my other videos, it's just pathetically regular. But also Christian symbols such as crucifixes, statues of Mary, for example. It may also involve violent crimes against Christians, such as the attack on Orthodox priest Nicholas Kakavalakis in the French city of Lyon, and the murder of Sir David Amos in Great Britain, of course, a conservative Roman Catholic member of the British Parliament. Amos was murdered by a Muslim youth in a church during public conversations with his political supporters. The conclusion is that there are more and more anti-Christian hate crimes in Europe, and you may just off the top of your head recall the other French priest and the nuns who were attacked, the Coptic Christians who were just beheaded like animals, Nigerian Christians, Pakistani Christians, Christians in Chad, Niger, in North Korea, China, all the way down to countries where you just go, what? I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So the growing number of hate crimes against Christians in Europe is consistent with other reports. So it's not like a lone voice in the wilderness and everyone is just going, yeah, all right, love. That kind of thing. No. Open Doors. You must have heard of them. Please do go and have a look. Let's get the letter writing thing going. I don't have it with me because I'm not that guy. And this uni thing is not writing itself either. But either way, the World Watch List, which annually ranks the 50 nations, and it's coming up again really soon. It feels like I only just did the last 2 or 3. It's once a year. And imagine what the numbers are going to be. It never goes down. Okay, the top 50 most, the countries which most persecute Christians for their faith only, faith alone, as it were. That's it. You just go, I love Jesus, and they go, chop his head off. That can be the reason. It has been consistently recording ever growing numbers around the world, and the top 10 certainly changed. Nigeria, whilst I think it came into the top 10 only last year, maybe number 7. Yep, sounds about right. It is and has been before number 1 in the world for the chance of getting killed for being a Christian. So there are differing, sorry, I'm veering off slightly, but there are different demographics. There's home life, social life, work life, violence, etc. And once these are totaled up with the specific points for each country, that's how they achieve their ranking. That's how they rise and fall, year on year. Well, what's I, mate? Because I've got to get through this shiz. So according to 2021, this year's statistics, more than 340 million, you remember that million times 340, Christians experience high levels, including extreme levels of persecution and discrimination for their faith. Full stop, end quote. This represents a 31% overall increase from 2020. That's all spheres of life accounted for. And in 2020 only, I'm going to, sorry, let me have a drink. Only 260 million Christians experienced higher levels of persecution. Yay for 2020. That represented a 6% increase. I know this is getting a bit mathematicsy, but just bear with me. We're getting there. Just try it. I know numbers is not everyone's forte. So that was a 6% increase from the preceding year of 2019, when the number was only, please, Jesus, only these mental numbers, only 245 million Christians in that year. Someone was sitting on their laurels. What? God. That was a 14% increase from 2018, when only 215 million Christians were highly persecuted, murdered, butchered, set on fire, raped, had their children dismembered in front of them, thrown into open graves, beheaded, thrown behind dustbins, just left out like dogs. That year. This is not the false imprisonments, the death sentences, the being torn to shreds in Pakistan, in the please do pray for persecuted Christians everywhere. If you have it in your heart, and a stamp and a bit of paper, or just an internet connection, please do. Neither do I, armor of God. Please do there are many schemes, and oh my God, it's got a pen. I feel it in my bones. That kid has got a pen on him, and he's going to make a note that I'm going to provide the links in order that you lot may write some letters to our brothers and sisters or emails, because I do it and it's like really edifying, and I hate the thought that they think they're forgotten about and they're just like think that, let's not go there. Okay, we were up to 215 million. So in other words, to summarize, between 2018 and 2021, I've got underwear older than that, by the way, the persecution of Christians has increased by 60% in 3 years. But not to worry, COVID's the real problem. Let's all just, I really feel like I'm going off script here, off road. I'm just reining it in. Okay. Who is responsible, we wonder aloud, for this dramatic spike in anti-Christian sentiment? And I'm reading, obviously, from Raymond's website and article with his permission, and I have ad-libbed massively. Although many groups affiliated with the so-called left are increasingly responsible for hate crimes against Christians, from Antifa, BLM, neo-pagans, whatever. The lion's share globally, come at me in the chat. Someone guess. Hint, it's not Buddhists. This is such a good opener for being remonetized. Whatever. Right, the lion's share still goes to Islam, unsurprisingly. Globally, I would say number one has always been godless, not Islamic in its origin. China, North Korea, etc. are massive persecutors of Christianity and of Islam. They got it all going on over there because of their godlessness, and because of the fact that Marx and Engels were just melts. Okay, let's have a little deep breath. 1 minute. Okay, the majority of attacks upon Islam. For every consecutive year, this has been the case. As many as 40 of the 50 worst nations ranked by the WW, the World Watch List, annual reports have been Islamic. 4 out of 5, 40 out of 50. 340 million Christians being persecuted. And of those, if you divide it by, 10, times it by, where were we? Times it by 8, that's the number where loosely Islam has been attributed with being the progenitor of that atrocity. Whilst European nations rarely, if ever, make the top 50, it's not unknown. It only follows that the more the demographics within those European countries shift in a certain direction, so will the evidence of these crimes be attributed to European countries. You can imagine European regions with large, I don't say homogenous or native Muslim populations, far from it. I mean large influxes of Muslims from countries that are already in the list that we're already discussing. And if we think of Germany, don't get me started, please, Jesus help me. That witch in Germany, where according to the recent OSCE report, anti-Christian hate crimes have more than doubled. So that's all right then. It's just 2 years, doubled. It just so happens, coincidentally, to have one of the largest migrant Muslim populations of Western Europe. This is the thing, Germany. We see you. We know that you're not allowed to be anti-Semitic. We see that you import your anti-Semites nowadays. Do me a favour. It's just as plain as the nose on your face. Okay. Anyway. Attacks on churches, mass sexual assaults rape, forced conversions of Christian women. And this will grow based on just the rule of numbers. I'm not going to go into that. So this assertion that Raymond is making, and I am backing him up on, is not merely deductive. Just to veer off of what Raymond says, deductive reasoning is when we say if premise A is true and premise B is true or valid, I should say more correctly, then the conclusion, whatever it is, must be valid. It must be. And if the premises are true, then the answer, the conclusion will be true. That's deductive. We're not using only that logic for these statements, and it's not conjecture, i.e., like just like if this happens, we're not just wondering out loud. European regions with large migrant Muslims, so not the Muslim is not the focus, nor the migrant. To be fair, it's influx from countries where Christians are regularly murdered. Like, and everyone just goes, "Oh, what is it, Wednesday again?" Whatever. These large Muslim migrant populations often see a concomitant rise, i.e., like a correlative rise in attacks on churches and symbols of our faith. Yeah, I can't deal with the chat at the minute. I just can't cope with it. I just cannot cope. Right. According to 2017 German language reports, I'm not even going to torture you with my accent, although I do speak a bit, but let's not go there. In the Alps and in Bavaria alone, right? So we're not talking about many other like regions. We're talking about Bavaria and the Alps. Some 200, count them, just over 199 churches were attacked with like countless, many crosses broken. Maybe Easter's been running about. Police are like currently dealing with church desecrations just over and over and over again. If you, yeah, that's true. If you were to put in a search engine of your choice, something along the lines of France churches desecrated map, and then look at the image that comes up, it's like a horrific case of German measles, no pun intended. Like it's just red dots all over the gaff. And then nobody knows, apparently. Okay, right, where are we? And the report goes on to say the perpetrators are often youthful rioters. Sounds largely peaceful, doesn't it? With a migration background. So that's a nice way of saying it. Mohammed, I don't know what you're going on about, but keep it nice, please. I apologize if I'm wrongly attributing those. Yeah, whatever. Right, so here we go. Before Christmas in 2016, in the North Rhine-Westphalia region, where more than 1 million migrants reside of Islamic nature, some 50 public statues of Jesus, 50. I mean, it's only like plaster or whatever, but it's the sentiment behind it. And other Christian figures were beheaded. Beheading statues. I mean, BLM, eat your heart out. And the crucifixes were broken again. Why not? It'd be rude not to at this stage, wouldn't it? In 2015, following the arrival of a further 1 million Muslim migrants to Dulmen, I apologise for that pronunciation because there's an umlaut and I just don't know. A local newspaper said, "Not a day goes by." Not that I trust newspapers like terribly, but it's a pretty strong phrase. Not a day goes by without attacks on Christian statues. I mean, there's feces smeared up the walls. There's like young kids in churches, like just the most despicable, nasty, like filth mongering. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of Raymond here. France, another Western nation that holds a significantly large migrant Muslim population. Oh, it doesn't actually say that, so I'm just going a bit PC. It says large Muslim population, and where 2 churches are reportedly attacked every single day. That's the map I'm talking about. Every day. 2 of them. 2 a day. 2 a day. Many with human feces. Such charmers. So I'm spilling my drink. I'm getting really annoyed now. I will be if I spill my drink. it's also like an indication that where these numbers grow, so do the attacks. Like, correlation is not causation, but I'm seeing a pattern. I don't know about you. And especially these attacks, I'm going to say it, cowardly, anonymous, like feces smeared attacks. Like, they must be so proud. Their mothers just must glow on the inside. January 2017 study revealed that Islamist extremist attacks on Christians in France rose by 38%, going from 273 attacks in 2015 to 376 the very next year. The majority occurred during the Christmas season. Isn't that lovely? And many of the attacks took place in churches and other places of worship. And if you just cast your mind back to any year you like, if you have a TV, I mean, commiserations if you watch it. But, just massive trucks driving into Christmas markets, Easter worshippers. No one worships Easter. Christians being attacked left, right, centre. Like, anyway. Armour, God bless you, little cons. It's like the old days, isn't it, kid? Right, anyway, I'm wrapping it up now. He's just paid me to stop. Okay, so just as most, I can't believe I'm laughing, but it's just otherwise I'm just going to start crying on the camera. It's ridiculous. Right. Just as most hate crimes against Christians are not recorded as such, like I said earlier, like they're just attacks on people, as it were, so too are the identities of those committing these crimes, like they're left out because of some wild political narrative, I would suggest. And in a climate where the media, like, let's face it, do everything possible. I mean, they conceal the identities of rapists and child murderers, let alone, like these guys are running around smearing shit, I do apologize, up walls in churches and like urinating and gosh knows what else. And they get them red-handed, let's not muck about, like red-handed, and still conceal their identities. Like who's going to call it out? Like, who's responsible? These Buddhists are busy. Tambourines in one hand, lentil dal in the other, and a packet full of, like, feces. Anyway, and the statistics are all being skewed because no one does anything about it. Anyway, apart from that, the mainstream is about maintaining the narrative. That's it. And the narrative is that Christians are aggressors. Christians are like maybe colonialists, or like in with that little bracket there. Christians are hateful towards minorities. Lol. Yeah, we are the aggressors. Everyone else is the victim. Like, there's some pretty big victims going around, if you know what I mean, in terms of the oppression Olympics. And we, like, solely are the ones with the whip, apparently. And I'm sick of it. But on a brighter note, shucks, I went into that one confidently, didn't I? On a brighter note, there, like the Bible teaches, like, blessed are they who are persecuted for my name's sake. Like, there's many, many verses. I should have them ready at all times. Just going to stop my adrenaline going. There's loads of them. Like, yeah, these people are blessed, and we suffer as a result of their suffering. Well, I do. It's about you people. But also, when we can love each other and have some joy and, like, some perspective, because Jesus did say this is going to happen, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Like, I believe there will come a time when the Bible will be like, they'll start moving to ban it for hate speech and all of that. And I'll just go to prison. I don't mind, really. Like Paul did it. Whatever. Like, I'm not kowtowing to him. I'm not recanting. I'm not, like, rejecting Jesus. I won't be on my knees. If I am, I'll be biting at waist level. Let's put it that way. Like, all right, okay, chill out, love. Anyway, there it is. Didn't get out my teensy violin because I chose to go with a bit of anger this time. But I'm going to pretend to end the stream now so I can carry on talking to the lovely people who have just watched me have a semi-breakdown. So thanks for that in case I edit. But if I don't, I'm just going to have a little look-see. Please do excuse me while I just clock what's going in over here. Open secrets you haven't heard me singing. Please, we don't need any more persecution by music. Shizzle. Yeah, I know the solution, Jonathan. Thank you. Maybe I'll make a stream about that. I did. Angelo and Demos and Longshanks and we spoke about potential solutions. Prayer is massively important. Like if you think it's not, maybe go chat to Bob. I don't know. Prayer. Letting them know they're not forgotten, because that just, I feel like I'm getting punched in the throat when I dwell on it. Like it's so, like, yeah, I know someone in Pakistan who said it to me and I just wanted to cry. Like I felt so bad. But yeah, I'm down for the singing. Open secrets, I'm on it. The links. Oh my God. Are you a madman? You need to remind me after I've forgotten. Like that's the rules, bro. Okay. Questions, and I'll love you forever to get my mind off this twat. Not twat, but like, look at them. They're skewing the city. Don't stop me up again. They're skewing it. I don't care. They're skewing the statistics. Then they're ignoring half of it. Then I'll remind you not to forget I'm a god. Whatever. Any questions, please, before I start off again? I'm excellent. Thank you, Rory. Can't you tell? But I meant other questions. Not that a lot, I don't want to start off a trend, but I have said it before, like people tend to seek me out for various reasons. Now I say it out loud, but one of them is for assistance of some description. And very rarely do they say, okay, how are you? Or if they do, I'll be like halfway through a sentence and they go, anyway, what I needed you for was. So thank you very much for asking, Ramon, Rory. I don't mean to like be, K-ish. But I got all riled up. I can feel everything pulsing. And anyway, synodality, like something to do with the synod. When I said any questions, my love, like let's keep it. I don't know. Like if you know something of it, I don't know if the live chat is the thing. Maybe in the comment section, that'd be great. Please. But no, off the top of my head, only like linguistically, I could make a guess as to what the word means. All right, so praying is the only first response, as it were. That's it. Like, what, you think you're going out on your own, king of the universe, that way, or like every way, and you're just going to go, no, do you know what? I'll get back to you, and just chill out and like just step out on your own. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Australia is just a joke, Martin. I know you're speaking to Paul, but they reverted into a penal colony so fast it was indecent. And they seem so chilled, like as humans. Like they're just so like, Barbies and shrimps and all that. Okie dokie, I don't see many questions, but then again, I don't have my glasses on, but. Right, last orders, last calls, because I got people to irritate. I got uni. Why did I think out loud? Baz. No, I get it in terms of the synod. Yeah, no, I to be honest, I don't really keep up with RC Central, as it were. But yeah, that sounds interesting. At least they're getting some like discussion going among the body over that way, that side of the body, as it were. Basil get. I'm going to read the question for people who can't see it. Pope Francis wants all Catholics, or the statement. Francis wants all Catholics to express their issues, misgivings, or questions so that the Vatican can hear the needs of the Church. Sounds brilliant on paper. Basil, I advise you to go and look at the video of the Pope telling a little bereaved boy that his atheist dad, who did not believe in Jesus' sacrifice, like, or confess it with his mouth, was going to go to heaven. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand, like, as someone who's been a parent of a young child, and also, like, just as someone who, you know, cares about what kids think, I wouldn't want to be the one to say, no, your dad's not saved, he's dead, he's like, whatever. I mean, nobody knows actually what happens in those, like, final moments of somebody's life. However, I think the Pope did a massive disservice, because not only did he say it quietly to the child to kind of comfort him, so bizarre. He then got the crowd of Catholics chanting, like, are you like what is he? A good man? Or I can't remember the chant, but like, dude, like, yeah, what Francis wants or what Francis says, like, there's many, if not sedevacantists, then certainly detractors of Franciscan papacy, as it were. Yeah, they're in the hands, but are they in the just? We are justified by faith. He had no faith. This dude, he was atheist, but because he had his children baptized and lived in Italy, let's just like not mince our words now. The Pope gave, like, it wasn't ex cathedra or anything, but yeah, he gave that little kid the answer. Yeah, well, let's not start on the Jesuits, because wow. Like, I'm stepping away slowly. Someone throw chocolate, it will distract me. I can't do that. I've just had me fill of like madness against Christians. Okay, so any last Jonathan, saved by the Tyrol. Right. Do you believe that there is good leadership and people who are natural leaders? Natural is where I would come like a bit unstuck, as it were. Ephesians 4. You can just look on the about my channel thing. It's the quote I've got. To some he gave to be apostles and teachers and shepherds, meaning like shepherds of the sheep, us, and evangelists and bloody blah. That's my translation. So natural gifts can be and are utilized by the Spirit in order to glorify, like, Yahweh. So yes, there's nothing wrong with natural leaders, as it were. I would say leaders. Like, is there good leadership? Certainly. Is there bad leadership? Certainly. Like, it's not. It's not good and bad leadership per se. It's like we are human because we are like good and bad. Like we have those vibing, and like positions of authority tend to lead to like better ways of abusing that authority. Open secrets. I love your style, kid. I love your style. It is the way forward. Obviously, I just can't get back on the chocolate train properly. Like I'm saving myself for the one. And I'm sorry if this is just turned into, this is getting like edited off. But Open Secrets, I went back to that certain supermarket and they had sold out of my devastated, mate. I knew it would happen. I knew it. I felt it in my bones. I'm not a prophetess or anything, but I knew. Buy them all, said the voice in my head. Didn't listen. And now I suffer. But nothing like the actual real life suffering that goes, yeah, while I got you all here. If anyone's having any drama in their life, one, you better just burst out laughing because you ain't getting beheaded or macheted, or if you are, I do apologize. But like, let's all just get right sized. I know that all problems are subjective. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've been bereaved just like a lot of times this year. I'm not saying Cherokee are not like you, my love, a very special lady. I'm not even saying it to you. But what I am saying is that our problems are subjective, and some of them are subjective in as much as they're only problems to us. Like the God who loves us enough to die for us, the God who is with us while we're sinning, he's still there, mate. Like he still loves you. He doesn't love you any less. He won't love you anymore. He's just there, either forging you into the kind of guy or gal who, like, from a vantage point of being on your ass, like, looks up and sees that he's helping you up again. Like, and it's unending. His mercy and patience are like just my life alone. I could tell you stories that make your hair curl, even the bald people. So, like, yeah, let's not. You know what? When we magnify our own suffering, in all seriousness, the Bible says, when one of us suffers, we all suffer. And I have woken up in the night before, and like with this just thing of like, what if it's something we're doing that is like fueling the macheting of Nigerian Christians? Like, they are definitely suffering. And if it's a result of me pretending I'm suffering or imagining I am because I've run out of like dark chocolate cherry liqueurs, that's facetious. But because I've done something, thank you very much, Star, that like I don't do it anymore. I don't say, I swear to God, I'm never doing it. Because it's only God that's going to do it for me. So why am I rambling? So the point is, get a grip. That is all. What you want to get a grip on is your business. Like a Bible would be a good choice, or someone next to you. Like just bring them in for a cuddle. I don't know where I'm going with it, but just like love is the answer. Get over yourselves. Just like do it for me, please. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. I shall become normal again any minute now. Basil, get this is massive. Like this is a question of utmost importance. I don't know. Kit Kat is with no yeah. Yeah, there are other four-fingered chocolate bars available and two fingers. However, yeah, I have time for a certain brand, and I'm not going to do it to myself. Yeah, I've been off the chocolate a little lately. Like there's someone who always advises me any emotional like disturbance in the force, and they're like, get the chocolate. But sometimes just them telling me that is enough love. So yeah. Basil, get you be shocked and amazed at the brands of chocolate that I can recall. But chocolate, that's exactly how you pronounce it. Oh my God. But yeah, I don't want to mention too many brand names because of, the overlords, as it were. Harriel, English is also a thing, my love. Don't know what that means. N statue? I don't use, I try not to use certain search engines, but I certainly will ask my lovely assistant to make a note of that also. AG, looking at you, kid. So yeah, yeah, Gypsy, you are loved and missed. I agree with Rory there. What one needs is good quality, I find, in confectionery, especially coming up to this like Yuletide festivity celebration of the birth of the baby Jesus. And I've been very controlled and very disciplined because you've got to have some self-control in some areas, otherwise it's just a farce. Otherwise your other glaring emissions at any attempt at self-control become like a bit bright. Mohammed, what you going on about, my little love? I'd love to know, but you just deleted it. I won't cry myself to sleep. I mean, I'm tough. It's all good in the hood. Right, last orders, my lovelies. Drink up. You do have homes to go to. I know most of you, many of you, are sitting in those very comfortable homes right now, and I'm very pleased that you all have like heat and warmth and food and potentially olives, like little nibbles. I don't know what you're eating or snacking on. How do I see Jesus first? Oh, like primarily as a teacher, a savior, a sovereign God with a small g word, etc., etc. Theologically, there's like I mean, me like subjectively, like friend, I guess. I love him. And that sort of thing. Like I don't necessarily think of his job descriptions. I think of the like oftentimes I think of the humble, meek and mild, that kind of that that uh that part of his nature. I do love the little like acid tongue remarks that he makes with the Pharisees and that, when he just like puts them in there, gives them a little tongue slap, as it were. Theologically, I see him as the second person made flesh of the triune Most High God. He's the Son of Man. He is like King of Kings, you know, all the good stuffs. So I hope that answers you. Paul, I love Sam. I got a lot of time for Sam. Yeah, we've all got our own little issues, I want to say. He needs our prayer because I do as well. Like, but you know, let's try. It can be very hurtful though. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've been on the receiving end only ever so slightly in private, and you can come away feeling a bit like, I got rejection issues anyway, so let's not go there. But yeah, I love Sam. I hope that he is able to fully like continue in his commission and not get sidetracked by any shamooniness. He was called Rabbi. He is a teacher, and he's taught me a lot. I know that much. Not quite to like guard my tongue, as it were, but you know, all for God's glory. No, that's a fib. There's many things I do that are not specifically for God's glory, because then I repent. Ish. I'm trying so hard not to fib. Yeah, but none of us perfect. Most definitely. Like, can I get an amen, as it were? Yeah, Carol, that's lovely. That is lovely. I know. Can you believe that? It's like you find out your mate is like king of the universe or whatever. I mean, you're in with like, you know, the right people, as it were. Ramon, I don't know if you're asking me that, my love. I don't think Christianity is a difficult religion. No, it's not a difficult faith to have. Potentially as a religion, like obviously in Pakistan or in like Chad, Niger, Somalia, you know, that then it's a difficult religion to follow openly, because Indonesia, Malaysia, you know, you name it, they've got it. But not to profess, or like not to, no, I find it easier to be okay that I am like, I wake up happy every day now. Like, I used to wake up and just be so pissed off that I hadn't died in the night. Like, I was just depressed. Like, but now it doesn't. Like, Lewis says that we are not our true selves until we are in Christ. Like, the people were supposed to be, or are supposed to be, at the right time, because God's timing is perfect. Like, He just comes and meets you where you are, and then like, it's an ongoing thing, and some of it is painful, and some of it is not blind faith, but me personally, I should say, I have had things dropped right into my lap before, you know, and I just have to say, like, oh well, like everything else has turned out all right. Like, I don't know, like stressing at something doesn't change anything. All it changes is the amount of grey hairs you've got, and like, you know, like how much dinner you can manage that evening before you like vomit. Sorry to say vomit. Paul, I've seen some of those testimonies. I've got actually, I've heard some amazing ones. I've read some books of some brilliant ones. The nose is going to start in a minute. So, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up. But like, I'm very pleased to have seen you all here. Jeff, I love you, sir. I read fluent, Jeff, everyone. I read fluent Canadian as well for one of my admins there. Yes, we are all just a passing through. We are not, I'm just going to add, a passing trough. No one's eating their dinner out of me. Well, stop right now. So, yes, there's a tsunami of apostasy from Islam. I mean, it's just like, yeah, that's all to the glory of God. But the thing is, as polemicists, etc., and I'm sure some of you do evangelize, and like, you know, in your personal interactions and stuffs, like I got one friend, a Canadian, another one. Wow. Yeah, he tends to get them out of Islam, and he just leaves them there. And I'm like, bro, send them over. There's no point in making atheists. They're still going to go to hell. Like, He's got issues with Islam, I guess. But yeah, okie dokie, pig in a pokey, and not even a halal one. Ariel, you lost me, babes. You lost me at dawn. I have no idea what's going on now, what you're saying. It's all right. It's all right. I myself often are strange, like I am strange and unusual. So you're in good company. Yeah, I've got an assignment, people. I've got to go. Someone tell me to shut up. Not you, oh my God. I know you're just about to start. Right, I'm going to press the first button. Letter writing. I'm going to do it. Oh my God, I'm reminding you to remind me. Don't forget. And yeah, do that for me, please. And I'll put the report also that I read from, and also the other something or other that I read from. And Raymond, Raymond Ibrahim's site. Please do go and give it the click support, as it were, because watch it, babes. Because no, oh my God, please stop reminding me now. Remind me when I have forgotten. Raymond Ibrahim. I'm not getting sidetracked. Shizzle, I just did. Raymond Ibrahim. Yeah, actually, in some regions. Thank you very much, Paul. In some regions, like it's been designated as hate speech, and they're like giving him some grief. So if you find that in your region you go there and it's like a blank screen or whatever, I'll say 3 letters to you all. VPN, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Use them. What was that? I don't know. I did just promote that. Anyhow. First button. Look, I'm hovering over the first button. I ain't even pressed it yet. What a waffler. This kid. Cherokee. I just read that, and one word different, and it was more horrific. But of course I will. Of course I will. I know you've got a little menagerie of animals going on over there. What a world. What an actual world we live in. Yes, thank you, Jonathan. Well done, sir. He's dared me. I am clearly 14 on the inside, so I've pressed it. So how about them apples? And now I got the button. It says end stream. Not yet, or end. I'm hovering over end. It's all good in the hood. I'm going to do a little quick prayer. Sod it. If you're going to waffle, go big or go home. So even with the snotty nose. Oh, all right, come on. Right, Lord, please do keep your hand over all the nations in which our brothers and sisters are being slaughtered like animals, being treated worse than Negus, even, one could say. Seriously, I pray that the Holy Spirit would be poured out with force on these perpetrators of genocide, certainly in the case of Nigeria. And also if the Holy Spirit could give a little spiritual slap to just these mainstream slash governments who just go on as if it's not happening, and focus instead on whether on just this endless inane drivel of Marxism and critical consciousness stuff, Lord. In the midst of all that, I'd like to pray for a top up, please, Lord, and for all of us here, for kindness, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, faith, love, self-control, joy, and the loved ones of everyone here, that they would also, just by extension, even if they've got a Christian in their life, that they would at least reap the benefit of the fruits in us, because it can be a bit of a dark world, Lord, when you're in it, and it doesn't need to be, because we have got a light that we have to shine even when we are tired of it all. We just have to remember that he who is in us has overcome the world. He's greater than all this, and by the power of the Spirit we can make a difference, and we can save one at a time, like those who are just desperately lost and in darkness without even the hope of Christ that we've got. So when we all start getting dramatic, as you're well aware that I do, Lord, if you could just give me a little nudge and remind me of those things, and give me the power to, like whatever else is going on, just to remain focused on publicizing this utter atrocious, like these crimes against humanity, let alone against you. And thank you for everything, and thank you for everyone who I've got, and that goes for everyone. I'm speaking collectively for us all, because these are decent, nice people. So yeah, I pray for blessings on them often, actually, and I'm doing it again right now. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh, here I am again. I can't even see anything now. My eyes have been shut for a minute. Oh, thank God, Cherokee. I keep reading partial bits of your comments and stopping at the wrong place. And I'm like, what? Thank you for the amens. Like, not for me, obviously, but adds weight. It adds gravitas to your petitionary prayers. I think so. Righty. I feel all nice now again. Yeah, I do. I feel nice. And on that nice bombshell, I'm going to leave it so that you can all like revel in a bit of niceness. And yeah, I'll definitely see you before Sunday. But if I don't do this assignment, I will do the assignment. That's a silly thing to. P.S. Lord, can I just have a teensy bit of motivation before I spend 17 long hours like doing everything other than like that? Oh my God, you are. It's redundant how welcome you are, and all the other admins as well. Right, love you people, and I'll I'm editing this bit out, but I'll see you like very soon. Bye, ciao.